It could be a non-member that's an accountant. Wouldn't that be good? So you don't have to be an artist to be a member.
And I'm not an accountant, believe me. But I've always balanced my checkbook.
There you go. There you go.
You do a good job.
Yeah. So, and I guess one of the things the board was talking about is in regards to somehow generating more interest and more involvement, there were some shocking things I found out. That there are other organizations that actually require you to serve. They have rules and regulations that actually make you become an officer or a committee person before you can even exhibit. I mean, that's crazy. We don't ever want to get to that point. I mean, this isn't about forcing people at all. We're artists and creative people. What we want to do is inspire each other and bring new life and new energy to the group. And the more we get new people involved, the more they're going to question, why are you doing it the way you've been doing it? Well, honestly, because it's easy, right? It's the way it's always been done. And how do we get it to change up and be more interesting and more new? And that's by getting other people to come in and say, have you ever thought of this? Maybe we could do it like that. And then those of us that have been stuck in our ways for the past 4 or 5 years might get a little bristled and go, but, and then all of a sudden it could really take off and become a really inspiring new CAG. So I want everyone to consider that. Yes, Barb?
You just mentioned, it doesn't have to be an artist to take on this position. Do you think perhaps if we encouraged our artists to bring their spouse as a member, perhaps a non-paying member, we could talk about that, so that we could, maybe we could draw some people, their spouses in to help the organization get things done without.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe not.
Well, Sharon and John are a perfect example.
Yeah, yes,
Sharon's not the artist, John is, and Sharon's doing so much work, but John, you do too. I'm not saying you're a slouch, but Sharon is really, she runs a rotating exhibit and she runs art in the park, and she's a goer and doer, and we appreciate you very much.
But maybe we don't need that second person in your family to actually pay to be able to work for us.
That's
I'm wondering.
That's a good suggestion. We could review that. I mean, anything having to do with money definitely needs to be discussed and brought to the membership for a vote. So I can put that down as a suggestion, because you can join and be a non-exhibiting, and what you're saying is you join as a spouse but don't have to pay if you're not an artist.
Yes, because then you're a healthy person.
If you do have,
yeah.
But there's a potential that you join and you show, but you don't do anything.
Well,
yes.
The artist, if your artist spouse joins as not an artist, doesn't have any other function except to be of support in some way.
Yeah, but, well, you still, like I say, we still have a lot of members that are like that.
Yeah.
Sharon, you want to speak up, say something?
I was going to say that if you are not an artist, like myself, but you get on committees, like I'm a director or something, you have to be a paid member. They just need to know that you can't work in any capacity as a chairperson or a director or anything unless you are a member. So, I mean, it's $30 a year and you join,
Yeah.
and it's for a good cause.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm happy to do it.
yeah. I mean, we could look at a possibility of a discount for a family membership kind of a thing. Instead of $60, it's $50. But I mean, it's still $30 is not a lot of money. It won't break the bank necessarily. Does anybody else have any thoughts? No? But that's a good. We'll go forward and think about that, because again, I feel like we come here and then we go home and we have friends that we go to museums with or art galleries with, and they all love it, but they don't know how to do any of it, and they don't want to, but they love art. Those are the people to bring along, because then you'll have fun because you have your own friends there too. It's like, it's awesome. So now I have some bad news, I suppose, to bring to the group, and that's the December luncheon. The board voted yesterday to cancel the December luncheon altogether. Back in August, Alice was speaking with the country club, and they needed a number of participants. And on a normal year, we would have had that number. But we hadn't even had our first in-person general membership meeting. We had no idea how many people would show up. So we couldn't give a number, and we decided maybe we'll cater it here at the church, see how many people were interested. And we talked about that at the board yesterday, and I have never been to a luncheon yet. So I joined in December after the luncheon, and then COVID hit, and that was it. So the board kind of got nostalgic on me, and we're talking about the luncheons and how wonderful they were and how special they are and how you really can't top it at the country club, and the valet parking, and you have a bar that you can buy drinks at, and it's just beautifully set up. And we talked also about taking our masks off and eating in this room. And the quotes that Alice got were still almost $20 a plate. And we would have to serve it ourselves. And that $20 did not include, that we were aware of, the place settings, the glassware, the stemware, you know, the linens. So it would have been almost as much or more than the country club. And I don't really know how many people in the membership would do that. I mean, we decided as a board to not even propose it, because if we can't have it at the country club, then we won't have it.
Maybe we can do a big spring.
That's the hope. So yeah, that's the hope, that we will have a very big spring luncheon. So, and then I have it in my head that possibly a summer luncheon. We'll see. You know, that might be something that we can extend into the summer for those of us that are still here, and have some sort of social gathering with an art show in the summer. But that just jumped into my head this morning. So nobody really knows that, but now you all do. So is there any questions about that? I mean, the board did just make that decision based, again, because we want to keep everybody safe and happy, and happier in the country club, I guess. All right, I think the last but not least, the one thing that I want to say, I'm going to end with, next month's meeting is we are going to have a art yard sale. There will be tables set up along the wall and along the back wall, and you're responsible to bring priced to sell any art goods that you no longer need or use or want. So your paper, your substrate, your paintbrushes, anything, stencils, books, anything that, you know, easels, anything that you have that is just cluttering up your space that you want to get rid of, you can bring and price it to sell. If you are going to use cash, please bring your own change. For those that are using Square and Venmo, just for the rest of everybody that maybe doesn't know that, bring a card, because some people aren't going to have the cash. They're just going to use a card. So, you know, we've all sold art and stuff, so we know pretty much how to do that. But that's next week. So come by 11:45 to set up, and be responsible to stay to sell it. You can't put your stuff down and go get a cup of coffee and expect anybody else to be there to sell for you. So if you bring something, please stay. And also, if it doesn't sell, you take it home. You know, so it doesn't linger in the back anywhere. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about that? So that's next month.
There's
Something to
a
look forward
flyer
to.
on the table if you want to remember.
Oh, yep, there's a flyer in the back. And now I do have, who was it that was going to speak? No.
I wanted to say one thing, and then
Jane. Okay, let's have Jane come up. Jane has some information to share. I'm done, so
Thank you, Beth.
it's just you guys here.
I just wanted to mention I'm doing an alcohol ink class at the French Nest Boutique. I don't know if you know where that is on West Bay. It's next to Benedict's. It's right on West Bay and Seminole Boulevard. It's one block up. So that's going to happen on October 23rd. I'm going to have 2 classes, one at 10 and one at 1. So if you'd like to just come and browse, if you know, at the store, and or join the class, it's $40 for the class. It's a 2-hour class. Thank you.
This time I'll
We're
get in
painting
front.
on tiles.
This time I'll get in front of the camera. Last month I stood over here and all you could hear was my voice. Anyway, and I don't know if I mentioned this last month, but I did get a chance to talk to Opal Ham's sister. Opal Ham is our oldest member. She's 101 years old. I know. And we were all kind of thinking about her. It's like, I wonder how Opal's been doing through all of this. So she is good. She's doing fine. But her sister did say that because of her advanced age, she is no longer painting and doing a lot of involved events or anything, because she used to do art in the park and everything. So, but she just wanted to share with everybody that she appreciated that we were all thinking of her. And I sent her a little card that said, hey. So anyway, I just wanted you guys to know. And again, I am Sunshine Committee person. So if you know of anybody that needs a little pick-me-up, if anybody has been ill, a spouse or someone in the family, if someone has passed away or lost a spouse, please contact me and I will send a card out. And they are handmade cards. I don't buy the ones that are just wrote from the grocery store. So they get a nice little handmade card. Right? Thank you. Yes, Jim?
You want to remind everybody about Plein Air, this painting outside. On the back table, there's a little cutoff that tells you where we are painting. We paint every Friday morning from 9:30 to probably 11 or 12, depending on whether you finish or not. So as a result, this month, we won't paint this coming Friday because the Tarpon Springs has their big paint out right now, going on this. In fact, that's where it should be right now, out there painting. But you bring your materials out, and we will be meeting at the marina for the rest of the month, except for this Friday. Always on Friday. And so we find a place to eat. We're not getting very many people out for this. I don't understand why people don't want to just go out and paint. This is the greatest thing in the world, is to do plein air painting. Anyway, that's number one. Number two, the Thursday night sketch group is still going on. Every Thursday night we have a model. These are amateur models. If you want to see what we're doing, volunteer with us and go and paint and go and model for a Thursday night. We do pay. Model gets $25. Not a whole lot of money to sit for an hour and a quarter. Every Thursday night at the Senior Center, 6 to 8 at the Senior Center. Now, if you want to see what we do, go over to Sterling. This month in Sterling is our big show. Go see what we actually do and get an idea. And there is one example of, January brought her example of one of the things she did for Thursday Night Sketch Group over there in brown frame. Okay?
It's an amazing show. You guys
It
should
is a really
stop by
good
and
show.
see
You
it.
got to see it. All right. Does anybody have any other announcements? Any concerns or questions that you'd like to bring up?
Are we talking about art in the park because it's before the next meeting?
I can mention that. Thank you, Joy. Art in the Park will be on the 7th of November. It is the first Sunday, not the second, because the second Sunday is the Blues Fest. And I don't think they thought the park would be in good shape after Saturday night at the Blues Fest. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. Are you done taking people,
For
Sharon?
November, I still have one opening.
One
I'm only
opening.
doing 15.
Okay. and it's $25 for you to do this. The park itself has been under renovation, and we are really kind of uncertain as to the setup. We're gonna have to go there and double check and make sure. We may not be able to get as many people as we have in the past, but we don't know that just yet. But we are 16, 15?
We're gonna do 15.
15, we're gonna do 15.
And that's the one, I have one more opening.
Okay. So those of you that haven't signed up, come and see us. Those of us that are there will be selling our stuff from 7 to like 4, yes.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, well, we set up at 7. I don't think you're supposed to, I mean, I don't know, people come around, whatever, you know, but just 7 to about 3 or 4. Yeah. Anything else? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Alice motions to adjourn. Do I have a second? Janice seconds. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you.
Y'all come back now.
Yeah.